Throughout the 80s, the Soviets battled the Mujahideen, a group of anti-Soviet fighters that included bin Laden. The Mujahideen were backed by the Central Intelligence Agency, who hoped to give the Soviets their own costly Vietnam-type war. Rather than fund the Mujahideen directly, the CIA covertly channeled money through the Pakistani intelligence agency, the ISI. The Washington Post has published some of the definitive accounts of the conflicts.
They helped create bin Laden and the roots of al-Qaeda during the Russian occupation of Afghanistan, when the American CIA and the intelligence services of Pakistan and Saudi Arabia created this group of people to fight the Russians in Afghanistan.
Billions of dollars from the CIA and the Saudis were passed through the ISI to support the war.
The Taliban are widely alleged to be the creation of Pakistan's military intelligence, the ISI. Experts say that explains the Taliban's swift military successes.
Emboldened by their victory and the influx of weapons and cash, the ISI helped to install the Taliban and deepen their ties to bin Laden and his terror network.
Because there's really no difference between an ISI training camp for terrorism and an al-Qaeda training camp for terrorism.
I mean, logic tells you they couldn't have done it alone. This was a sophisticated plot.
Bin Laden was not capable of doing this by himself and his group. So who was capable? Obviously, there has to be much more of an investigation in Pakistan.
But on October 1st, the FBI discovered evidence linking the alleged hijackers and al-Qaeda by following a money trail that ended at Mohammed Atta in Florida.
Suspected hijacker Mohammed Atta received wire transfers via Pakistan and then distributed the cash via money orders bought here in Florida. A senior law enforcement source tells CNN the man sending the money to Atta is believed to be Ahmed Umar Saeed Sheikh.
He reportedly is controlling certain aspects of the financial transactions of the al-Qaeda network.
Once a standout student at the London School of Economics, the British-born son of Pakistani parents speaks 5 languages.
The story made news in every major newspaper. With 9/11 paymaster identified as an alleged al-Qaeda moneyman, it seemed that the U.S. finally had its proof that al-Qaeda was involved. The U.S. war on terror could now move ahead. But what most of his post-9/11 reports about Omar Saeed Sheikh had failed to mention was that at the same time Sheikh dropped out of the London School of Economics to presumably join al-Qaeda. He had also joined the ISI.
Arresting officer A.K. Jain says, under questioning, Omar Sheikh admitted he was supported by the Pakistan government's intelligence service, the ISI.
He had told me that.
He admitted to you?
Oh, yes, yes.
And after his release, it was very clear that he was provided protection and safe haven in Pakistan with the direct support, with the knowledge, and obviously with the connivance of the Pakistani intelligence.
Only 2 days after the invasion of Afghanistan, the Times of India reported the FBI discovered credible evidence that $100,000 was wired to alleged hijacker Mohammed Atta by 9/11 paymaster Omar Saeed Sheikh on the orders of the ISI director, Lieutenant General Mahmoud Ahmed.
You have to understand that Lieutenant General Mahmoud Ahmed was a key player.
Though the evidence was never publicly disclosed, Indian intelligence claimed that the FBI had privately confirmed the story to them, and it soon made every major Indian newspaper. In the U.S., only a single news outlet even mentioned the allegation. The information was reported as an internet-only story on the editorial section of the Wall Street Journal website. After the Times of India story broke, Paymaster Omar Saeed Sheikh was no longer the apparent proof that al-Qaeda was the sole sponsor of the attacks. Instead, Saeed Sheikh, acting on the orders of the ISI, appeared to be the smoking gun of Pakistani involvement in 9/11. By the one-year anniversary of 9/11, Newsweek had concluded that the paymaster remains almost a total mystery. The 9/11 Commission would ultimately conclude that the question of who financed the attacks is of little practical significance.
And in my opinion, it seems to be a bunch of smoke and mirrors to try to really hide the fact that there's money coming from the ISI going to the hijackers.
And here the story took another unexpected turn. Several top news sources had all reported that the Pakistani ISI director had actually been in Washington for a rare visit during the week of September 11th.
Yes. Are you aware of the reports at the time that ISI chief was in Washington on September 11 and on September 10th, $100,000 was wired from Pakistan to these groups here in this area? And why he was here? Was meeting with you or anybody in the administration?
I have not seen that report, and he was certainly not meeting with me. Yes?
LA Weekly reported that on the very evening of September 11th, U.S. State Department officials began negotiating the terms of the U.S.-Pakistani partnership with ISI Director Mahmoud Ahmed, the very man who was alleged to have ordered the wire transfer to Mohammed Atta. The talks continued over the next several days before the Lieutenant General returned to Pakistan on September 14th.